Welcome to the channel where we are going to be watching Yakusoku no Neverland episode 10. I'm your host Maverick, and today we're going to try and figure out what the kids can do in lieu of this situation. They've pretty much exhausted all their options. All of their plans have been foiled. Originally they were banking on trying to escape through the wall. The particulars, I don't know, but it doesn't really matter anymore because it's a dead end, right? There's not really any way they're going to be able to escape from the wall. They need to go back to the drawing board and refigure out what next plan of action they can take. However, they have all of maybe 4 or 5 hours before Norman gets shipped out. So the situation is looking quite dire here, right? So really, as I mentioned last episode, there's only two things that can happen now. One is Phil or these other two little boys reveal themselves to be secret agents of an underground resistance force or something, where they will help the kids escape, or maybe they can go about it by looking at what Sister Corone left behind and whether that left some clues for them in order to escape this situation. Otherwise, barring some major plot twist or Deus Ex Machina, they are screwed. But that's obviously not the case, right? Because the anime must go on. And speaking of which, there's only 3 episodes if we include this one left in this season. So I'm also really curious how they're going to wrap up this. Obviously, this is going to... one season is not enough to resolve the whole situation, but I am wondering, like, where exactly they are going to stop. Like, are they actually going to be able to escape, and then the next season or the next story arc talks about what they are doing outside of the farm? Or at the end of season, they're still in the farm, and just with a new set of conditions. So that's something that we should keep an eye on. In any case, let's just get into the episode right now. And begin in 3, 2, 1. Play. Hmm? Really? Oh. Hmm. Hmm. Yep. Going back to the version. Oh, Phil. What is your secret, Phil? See? They should have went with the gate from the beginning. Oh, really? Okay. Hmm. Yeah.
気持ちは変わらない。さっきそう言ったでしょ。それじゃ。
Yeah, he has a few hours remaining, or he's sent out. Oh man. They're going to give us a field trip now? By the way, later on I did go back to the last episode and rewatch the ending. Yeah, I kind of forgot that it was a new ending. Well, the mom, Isabella, I kind of feel like she's not going to be just a pure antagonist. Hmm. Really? Really? Was that necessary? You're just gonna come barging in anyways, right? Yep. Aww. Oh man, this is way too cute. And look at Isabella be all loving at the background. Like I said, somehow. Alright, hold that thought. Where did they get all these suitcases? Like, what? Hmm. What is going to happen? Oh man, detention. Oh man. This is like... Huh? Oh. But that's already screwed up the entire plans, right?
バカ無鉄砲にも程があるぞエマ。今君がすべきことはこれじゃない。嫌だ行かせない。喧嘩？どうして分かってくれないんだ。僕はそんなことこれっぽっちも望んでいない。ただ笑って見送ってほしい。僕の気持ちを汲んで。
No.
そんな気持ちだけは
I think Emma is more stubborn than you, Norman.
めちゃくちゃだよ君は。無茶で無謀で甘くて幼稚で、でもまっすぐで。だから僕は時間よノーマン。
Hmm.
ママ。エマ、落ち着きなさい。寂しいのはわかるけどおてんばが過ぎるわ。次騒ぎ立てたら殺すわよ。
I don't think that's a legitimate threat, to be honest. She can't kill them.
エマに最後のお別れを言っても。ええ、もちろんよ。さあ、エマ。
I wonder what Ray is up to right now.
エマ、ありがとう。騙してごめん。怪我増やさないでね。無茶のしすぎも。ちゃんと食べてね。
No, she's not gonna.
大丈夫。絶対諦めないでね。
Like, what is going to happen?
空っぽなのね、トランク。うん、ほぼね。だって何を入れても持って出ることはできないでしょ。あなたなら決して逃げない。分かっていたわ。私には最初から。立派よ。あなたは正しい。これでレイとエマは満期で出せる。決められた時間最後までお家の中で幸せに。そう。幸福な一生。ねえ、ママは幸せ？
Hmm.
ええ。幸せよ。あなたという子に出会えたもの。
What in the effing world is going to happen? What? What? A twist?
おはよう、私の可愛い子供たち。こうして今日も37人の兄弟みんなで幸せに暮らせることに感謝して。いただきます。
What in the...
Emma.
This is getting because of what happened there, I don't believe that Norman actually died. But does that mean Isabella is helping them?
エマだけじゃないぜ。レイもだよ。なんかすっげえ落ち込んでてさ。二人とも寂しいんだね。まあ、三人仲良かったからな。話って。これからどうするか決めないとだろ。俺たちこの先。もういい。え？もういい。ここで死のう。無理だ。周り崖だし、橋も本部から出ている一つだけ。何より疲れた。疲れたんだ。じゃあ、これはいらない。お前にやるよ。逃げたきゃ逃げろ。俺は降りる。ごめんな、エマ。
6 years.
お前。ごめん。ごめんな。どうキルだ。
But I actually can't quite comprehend what is going on.
ノックはしたのよ。聞こえなかった。かわいそうに。辛いのね。苦しいのね。ノーマンは死んで、レイはあのざま。あなた一人じゃ何もできない。絶望の極みね。脱獄はもう絶対にかなわない。諦めてしまいなさい。絶望に苦しまずに済む一番の方法は諦めることよ。抗うから辛い。受け入れるの。楽になれるわ。簡単よ。私はね、エマ。もしあなたが望めば、あなたのしようと思っているの。ママ候補。そうよ。大人になって子供を産んで、能力が認められれば、ママやシスター
Have a child?
戻ってこられるの。
So they need to give birth to children?
望めば、私は喜んであなたを押すわ。誰がそんなものに、そう思った。じゃあ、あなたには一体何ができるの？何もできない。誰も救えない。ただ死を呪う。苦しみの連鎖よ。
That's what she went through, right?
目指しなさい。絶望を受け入れて楽になるのよ。やだ。それだけはできない。いいわ。じゃあせいぜいのたうち回って死を迎えなさい。あなたたちは逃げられない。今一度存分に思い知りなさい。
What in the world is happening? Hmm. And Ray's just being an otaku. Whoa. Time skip? Holy crap! Is that Ray singing? Okay, what are they going to say this time? What the heck? Man. Oh my god. This series. This series, man. Oh boy, this anime. As if cliffhangers weren't enough, now they decide to troll us by essentially throwing in a plot twist, but we don't even know what the plot twist is, right? We have to wait until next week to know what the plot twist is actually talking about. So, it's with very limited information, there's really not much to go on, but let me try to have a recap of what we know so far, right? So first off, Norman. I don't buy that he's dead. I'm going to follow the rules of shonen anime. If a character's death is not shown on screen, assume that that character is still alive. Norman's case, I do believe he's still alive. Now, why is he still alive? It could be various reasons, right? It could be that Isabella is actually trying to help them in some way, and so she actually sheltered Norman. That's a possibility. Or it can also be that that the resistance got to Norman. You know, they rescued him or something like that. That's also a possibility. Maybe Isabella is part of the rebellion or resistance. Now that's a thought. But anyways, let me get back to that a little bit later. Anyways, I don't believe Norman is dead. And then we go to another interesting thing here is that the time skip actually was way longer than I initially thought. Because I don't really pay that much attention to the titles of the episodes. I know their dates, but I don't really keep track. But for this one, I specifically went back because the numbers seemed a little bit off. So from the beginning of this episode, when Norman was shipped out, it was October the 3rd, I believe, or actually, sorry, November the 3rd, and the time now it's the day before Ray gets shipped out, and the day is January the 13th. So more than 2 months have passed just within this episode, in a short amount of period of time. So anything could happen, right? What Ray and Emma seem to be doing is they're trying to fool Isabella by playing this depressed person, right? So they're not in any mental state to continue to scheme and make escape plans, but that's all part of the plan. They want to fool Isabella on this part. So I'm actually not quite sure if Dawn and Gilda are in this as well, or maybe they are also being fooled by Ray and Emma. Although actually, I would put my money on them knowing that what they're trying to do. Now, the question still remains: how exactly are they going to escape? Right? So, still have no idea what they're going to do. I'm assuming that they now have changed the plans and they plan to escape through the gate instead of through the walls, which again I never thought was feasible in the first place. But how? Like, what kind of tools are they using? What kind of gadgets? How are they going to convince children that Isabella is a being that's out to kill them or whatnot, or that there's monsters in this world? Really, no idea, right? There is no clue as to what they are going to do. The only thing that I found a little bit odd within this episode was the scene where Emma tried to, tackle Norman and try to remove his tracking device. There was a camera close-up of Emma's wounded leg during that scene, where she was almost going to use her injured leg to step on the ground, and then Norman saw it and then quickly wrestled her away. Now, I'm of the belief that if that part is not significant, then they wouldn't have made a close-up of that. So there is something with Emma's leg. Maybe it has I don't know, like a smoke screen or something. Or actually, maybe Emma's leg has already been healed, and she's just playing limp or crippled right now, or even all the way back to then. Although that's debatable, because that's like way too fast. She'd have to have superhuman healing abilities. But definitely there is something fishy about her leg and cast. Beyond that, like what? How can they escape? I don't know. It's really anyone's guess. Without at least some information, it's hard for me to. All of this would be just stabs in the dark, right? And there's no basis to do this on. So I'm going to refrain from doing any theory crafting on this part until next time when we get some more info. By the way, I loved Emma's scheming face there. Like, she was the one who looked evil during that very ending scene. So, refreshing to see. It seems that things are still continuing to get interesting. And speaking of interesting, the character of Isabella, right? So, looking at the ending song and whatnot, she seemed to have lived a pretty good and cheerful, happy life on the farm before she eventually became mom, right? Is she actually going to be a helper to the protagonist in the end instead of being one of the primary antagonists? I don't know. I honestly don't know. She seems to, throughout all the episodes that we've seen so far, she has that smirk, right? So you just instinctively feel that she is evil. But at the same time, I've said this in a few times in the past as well. I really don't see why the moms are so under control by the monster, right? Like, what's to stop one of the moms from just rising up and trying to create chaos, releasing the children or whatnot? Like, what would happen there? So definitely there has to be something else besides just brute force that's keeping them in check. Now, I've been having this thought for the past few episodes, and again, I do believe that is the case. As for the rest, really nothing much else to talk about. Like I said, we need to wait until more information comes. And until then, really, we can just sit here and, I don't know, twiddle our thumbs and wait, I guess. So that has been my review for The Promised Neverland. Norman is still alive. They had a time skip. They're planning to escape. I don't know how they're gonna escape. Let's find out next episode, as well as the 12th episode, and then we are going to end this season. So definitely, I'm not sure. Did they actually do a time skip independently of the manga, or did this same thing happen in the manga? I'm leaning more towards the latter, because otherwise, just arbitrarily putting in a time skip doesn't really seem a good way of adapting. So I'm going to assume that in the manga as well, the exact same thing happened. At least that's how I feel right now. So that's been episode 10. This has been Mavri. Let me know your thoughts, your comments. Did I actually miss anything? Was I being a dum-dum, right? And maybe there are some stuff that I can use to build my theories and whatnot and try to predict what's going to happen next. And if nothing else, I'll see you guys next time on episode 11 at the same time. So, see you guys. Bye bye.